Hello friends, so welcome back to our channel. So in today's session we'll discuss about the types of errors in Python. So usually in programming we'll be having a different types of errors. Now in this session we'll see what are the different types of errors when they will be occurred, right? So these are the different types of errors. So the first one is a system error. It is raised by the parser when a syntax error is encountered. So if there are any syntax errors, then automatically this type of error will be occurred. So we'll see by executing a small thing. So we know that if you want to display the string in a multiple lines, we need to use the triple quotations, right? See, if I use the triple quotations, we can able to display the content in multiple lines. So this is a syntactically correct, and if you print a, so automatically we'll get this one. And if you are violating the syntax, that means without using triple quotations, if you are trying to write the content in double quotations in a multiple lines, then this is a syntax error. So you'll be getting the syntax error. So whatever the syntax given by the interpreter, if you violate that particular syntax, we'll get this syntax error. So system error or syntax error. Right. And coming to the indentation error, so we know that in Python we are not using the curly braces. We are supposed to use the indentation to represent the block of statements. For example, if you go with the for loop, so for I in a range of some 10, and you use a colon, so that automatically the cursor will follows the indentation, right? So it will leave some 4 spaces from the left margin and it will be prompting. So here you can print I so that there will be no error. And if you are using the same thing, so if you are not using the spaces, that means if you are not able to use the margins, automatically will get the indentation error, because here you have given some colon so that it should follow the indentation. So if you fail to follow the indentation, we'll get this indentation error. Hope you understood this indentation error. And the next one is an index error. So it is raised if the index to sequence is out of bound. So usually the sequential terms will be having the index values like list or tuples or set, okay, dictionary. So all these are the index values. We'll access with the help of index values. And coming to the dictionary and all these concepts, we are going to access with the help of keys only, right? So if you consider the list tuple and a string, so the elements will be accessed with the help of index values. And if you are accessing the index which is out of bound, we'll get this index error. So let us check. So let us take some L is equal to, so list, take the list of 5 elements. So if you use if you are trying to access the elements within the 5, below 5, right? Because the index ranges will be starting with 0, so the index values will be from 0 to 4. So we can access up to 4, so there will be no error. So if you are accessing the 5, so which is not available here, then we'll get this, then we'll get the index error, because the 5 index is not available in the list. So the index values are up to only 4. So 5 index is not available, so we'll get the list out of range, list index out of range, right? And the next one is a key error. The key error means raised if non-existent key requested for set or a dictionary. So if you are having some dictionary, so let us take some dictionary. So I'll take some name and followed by the value. It's a key and followed by the value, some ABC, and go to the R number, roll number, okay, roll number with a 54 and some percentage with a 90, right? And here we are having only 3 key value pairs, the name, R number and percentage. And here we have to access the elements with the help of key itself. If you access name, we'll get the name. And if you are trying to access the key which is not available in the dictionary, see, D of branch is the key which is not available in the dictionary, so automatically we'll get the key error, right? So that's a key error. And coming to the name error, if a non-existent identifier is used. For example, if you take the 3 variables like 10 and 20 and 30, and if you are trying to print the value of D, so we'll get, so D is already dictionary, no? So let us print E. So that's a name error because E is not defined. Okay, E is not defined. So that type of error we call it as a name error. So the E doesn't have any value, but we are trying to print that value. So then that is called a name error. Okay, next one is a type error. type error raised when wrong type of parameter is set to a function. So for example, if you take some string and take some variable with an integer value, and if you are trying to add these two, so which is not possible, so addition of the string and integer is not possible, right? So then we'll get the type error. So can only concatenate the string to string, not an integer. So this will be raised when a wrong type of parameter is set to a function, right? So this is not possible. So in such cases we'll get the type error. And coming to the value error, so value error is raised when the parameter has an invalid value. So for example, we have seen a different type conversion functions: integer function, string function, a float function, list function, set function, whatever it may be. We have seen a number of type conversion functions. So we can see that example, some a is equal to, let us take some string, and I just want to convert it into an integer, right? Some b is equal to int of a, so which is not possible because this is a character string. So if it is a numeric string, then it will be possible to convert it into an integer, but it is a character string, so it's not possible to convert it into an integer. So in such cases we'll get a value error, so invalid literal for int with base 10. So we can't pass the character string to the integer function, so we can't convert it. So such type of errors we call it as a value error, right? So before going to the next errors, so I just want to say something. Hello friends. So if you are willing to start your career in front-end development, let me quickly talk to you about 5 companies now offering a front-end development jobs for freshers. So here all is required is no prior experience needed, and all you need is the necessary skills. So the companies are 1mg, which offers the CTC around 10 to 30 lakhs per annum, and the skills required for this is problem solving, Python, Ruby on Rails, exposure working with any relational or non-relational database, and understanding of message queues, PubSub, and in-memory data stores. And coming to the second company, it's a Zoomcar, where the CTC offered is up to 20 lakhs per annum. Here the skills required should be good in data structures, algorithms, Ruby on Rails, and the Java programming. And coming to the third company, so Coordination, which offers the CTC is up to 29.5 lakhs per annum. The skills required are hands-on coding and one scripting and one OOPS language, and good problem solving skills and good communication skills, right? And the small case company, which offers the CTC around 8 to 9 lakhs per annum. The skills required is JavaScript and MongoDB. Coming to the last one, WebEngage, the CTC offered is around 7 to 20 lakhs per annum, and here also the 6 skills required are JavaScript and MongoDB. So these are the major companies which will having the requirement on front-end developers, and they will pay high package to the front-end developers. So I personally think these are some really exciting job opportunities which usually a fresher won't be eligible. But Unacademy has created the amazing hiring platform called Relevel, which helps the freshers and the people in their early career to work with these tech companies irrespective of their qualification. And all you have to do is just register for the Relevel test, book a time slot comfortable for you, and based on the test score, which is generated within 24 hours, Relevel will send your profile to these companies, and these companies will approach you for an interview. And this entire process just takes a week, which is much faster when compared to other hiring platforms. And if you manage to get a job through Relevel, your entire registration fees will be refunded, right? So what are you waiting for? Go and register for this test right now and start your dream career. Now I will show you the registration process. Go with the relevel.com by Unacademy. So this Relevel will conduct a test, and they will release a Relevel score, and based upon the Relevel score you will get a calls from these top startups. So you will be recruited with a high package if you are eligible with a high Relevel score. So how to take the test, I will just demonstrate here. So go to the relevel.com website, and here you can observe the 3 categories of test: business development, front-end development, and a back-end development. Based upon your interest, you can take the test. So go with the front-end development. You will ask for the register now. So you can simply click on register now. So just again, you can see the front-end development test. So these are the rounds you need to complete in this particular front-end development test. See, So it is around 45 minutes, 90 minutes, 150 minutes, 90 minutes and 360 minutes. You can complete all the rounds in a single day, right? And click on the register now. It will prompt for the login. So just give your contact number so that the OTP will be generated, and you enter the OTP and log into the Re-Level by Unacademy. So after successful login, so here you can observe, so click on the register now. So it will give you the slots, the calendar here, right? And see, you can complete all the 5 rounds in a single day, and your score will be released within 24 hours. So get your Re-Level score in a 24 hours. So the score will be for 1000 points, and the best score you will be having, you will be getting a chance of getting the calls from the top companies. Okay, and after getting the Re-Level score, claim your profile and get your rank on the leaderboard. Okay, so that you will get a calls from the companies. So book your slot here. So you can observe here the dates and slots available in that particular dates. So select this one, and you will be eligible to change your slot 48 hours before the test. So once you book the slot, you can also change the slot only before 48 hours, and that is also depending on the availability, right? So select this one and confirm your slot. So you will get the you are supposed to pay the fees of 1999 rupees to take the test. So if you get the job with this Re-Level score, so you will get a full refund of your test fee, complete refund, 100% refund will be there. And just you can use our channel coupon code SSK10 to get the additional discount, additional 10% discount. Okay, you can observe here, right? So 10% discount, right? So and within 10 minutes you need to confirm this one. So you just click on the pay now. So the test fee will be paid and your slot will be booked, and just prepare for the test and take the test on that particular day. And within 24 hours you get the Re-Level score, and definitely if your Re-Level score is satisfied with the companies, you will get a call from that companies with the highest package, right? So don't be late, apply here and get the opportunity with a high package, and use the coupon code SSK10 to get the 10% discount, additional discount. So all the very best. So the next one is a zero division error. So here it will be raised when the division is done by a zero. So for example, consider some a is equal to 10, some a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 0, and in here if you are trying to give the division a by b, you will get the zero division error. So here b value is 0. So in the division the denominator should not be a 0, right? So in such cases we will get the error called division by 0. And the next one is a module not found error. So this module not found error will be raised when imported module is not found. So here we are going to work with the different modules or different libraries, right? So for example, if you go with the NumPy, so it will be automatically available in the Jupyter, so will not get any error if you import the NumPy, right? So still it's in process. So yeah, so there is no error. And if you import the library called Keras, which is not available, right? So explicitly it should be installed in the Jupyter. So in such cases, if the module is not found, then we'll get the error called a module not found, no module named Keras. So before importing this Keras module, we have to install in the Jupyter. Then only we can use the Keras, right? So such module, such type of error is called a module not found error. And the unbound local error. So this is completely with the local variables and the global variables, raised when a reference is made to a local variable in a function or a method, but no value has been bound to that variable. See, for example, let us take a function so called display, and I am just using, so a is equal to, or simply you try to print the a and call this display function. Sorry, let us take some yum, right? And here give the global variable m is equal to 100, and if you want to update this one, right? If you want to update this one, okay. Oh, sorry, m plus 1. So my intention is to update the global variable, right? So here we are giving some variable of m, so that which outside the function. So this is a global variable. So we can use the global variable anywhere in the program. So both in the user defined functions and outside the user defined functions. And so if you are using this one, and if you want to display, if you want to update the global variable, so here my intention is updating the global variable, but here the interpreter will treat this m as a local variable which doesn't have the value, but just trying to update the value. So in such cases we'll get the unbound local error. So if you are not having this one also, we'll get the same thing. So we are not having the value for m, but still we are trying to update the variable. Okay, we are using the variable in the function, we are using the variable in the expression, right? But the variable doesn't have any value. So in such cases we'll get the unbound local error. So local variable m referenced before assignment, so it doesn't have any value, but we are using in the expression. And the next one is an attribute error. It will be raised if object accessing a member which is not available. So we know the object oriented programming, so I will create one class, so class demo, and I will give two variables, a b is equal to 10 comma 20, and I will write some function. So display show, so the first parameter is a self, and I will just print so demo class, right? So here you can observe the class demo consists of a b as a variables and show as a function. So we call all these as a members of this particular class, and if you want to access the members of the class, we need to create an object that we already we know that. So object is equal to, so class name, which will create an object, and we have to use the object name dot a comma object name dot b, and also object dot show. So in order to access the members, either it may be a variables or a function, we have to use with the help of the object name. So if you execute, we'll get the result. And if you are trying to access one more variable, object.c, which is not available, which is not a member of this particular class, then we'll get this attribute error. So we are accessing the members which are not available in the class, then such type of error is called an object error. So here I am not having the object.display, right? So display function is not available. Then also we'll get the same thing, attribute error. Demo object has no attribute display. So if the object, if we are accessing the members which are not available in the class, then we'll get this attribute error raised if object accessing a member which is not available. And the last one is a file not found error. It is raised if a file is not available. So in the files concept, we are opening the file with the help of file object. So fo is equal to open, and here you need to give the path or just give the file name. So python.txt. Okay, the file is not available, right? So if the file is not available, and if I am using this one, then we'll get the error file not found. So here the file is not available, so but still we are trying to open that particular file. So in such cases we'll get the error called a file not found if the file is not available. So no such file or directory, python.txt. Okay, so such type of errors we call it as a file not found error. So these are the different types of errors that we can experience while programming. So syntax or system error, indentation error, index error, key error, name error, type error, value error, and zero division error, and a module not found error, unbound local, attribute error, and file not found error. So these are the major errors we can experience while doing the programs. Right. So hope you understood this one. If you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. And if you really enjoyed my session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.